So a seat can be cross-legged or kneeling. Make sure you make it relatively comfortable, because when we start our practice, which is a short meditation, just to arrive on our mat. So we take that time to go, okay, whatever the day was, it's in the past, whatever is still going to happen, we'll leave it into the future. Arriving on the mat, make it comfortable, because if you would be, for example, sitting uncomfortably, it's quite difficult to get into that calm mind space, because the body will go, I'm uncomfortable, I'm hurting, I'm not happy. So try to settle into a seat, cross-legged or kneeling. You can remove some clothing, or not remove, like adjust more, and then close your eyes, and then feel the first big inhale. Fill up the balloon, which are the two lungs that sit inside the body. And when you think they're full, just gently sip in a little bit more of air. And then as slowly as you can, without too much effort, just breathe back out of the mouth. Inhale, fill up. Exhale, empty. So if somebody would be looking at you now, they would say that you're still, that there's no movement. But there actually is movement. There's movement of the lungs, there's internal movement, there's movement of your diaphragm, there's movement of air, and there's movement of blood. There's movement of your internal organs. They get a bit of a massage by the movement of your diaphragm. And probably there's still quite some active movement, let's say, in the mind. Just processing some of the activities that might have taken place today. It's also a lovely time to check in with yourself. It sounds like a simple question, and it is, but at the same time, it's also a complex question. Just asking yourself, hey, how are you? The same way you would ask someone else. And when you ask someone else, how are you? There's no judgment. Their answer is not right or wrong. It's just a representation or an awareness of how they feel physically, mentally, emotionally. So can you now do that to and with yourself? Just checking in with your own body, mind, heart, with your being. This practice is to restore, to stretch, to recover, to create space in the body and in the mind. You may place your hands in front of the heart, just a gesture of acknowledging your uniqueness and the uniqueness of others, and at the same time, celebrating our connection. You may set your own intention or dedication of this practice to give it a little bit more depth, a little bit more meaning. And bow your head towards your fingertips to just feel that in. And we'll today start in a very soft, supported bridge pose. So supported bridge pose is on our back. Now, if you have never done yin yoga before, with yin yoga, I will give many options. I will say, try this, and then you feel, and then you say, you can also try this, because I sometimes even compare it with trying on clothes. You know, when you put something like, oh, that's too tight, or oh, that's too big. And that's how you treat each shape and suggestion, and just feel what feels good for your body, because we're different. So supported bridge pose. And if you want to use your little towel there, for example, you could fold it up another time. So you almost made a block out of your towel. And then you can place a pillow or a block underneath your hips. So the hips elevate a little bit. It's the beginning of class, so just take it easy. So you can really let the hips rest into the block. So in this shape, and actually in most shapes, we try to find a place where we feel supported. So if you feel that you're kind of balancing on your block, then maybe take a different option. So we're trying to really soften and relax. Trying for the muscles to let go. So the deeper layers of your being, inside your joints, your deeper connective tissue, the fascia can start to soften as well. Now that you've found your shape, connect again to the breath. Notice how your chest rises, how maybe the belly fills up on an inhale. And then softly let go of the breath out of the mouth. And your tummy will start to sink in towards the back line of the body. Inhale to fill up to the front, to the side, and to the back of the body. Exhale. Just surrender and let go. You can breathe in softly in through the nose and softly out of the mouth. And it's gentle. As if you're smelling flowers on the inhale, which is not a strong whipping in of the air. When you smell flowers, you do it gently to be able to pick up on the fragrance. So it's subtle. You can maybe even notice how the air travels from the inside of the nostrils. And a very subtle awareness is to maybe even notice if one nostril is more open than the other. We are inverted. Our hips are higher than our heart. Our heart is a bit higher than our head, which is the opposite of what takes place all day long. Let's stay still for another almost 2 minutes. Just be, practicing being rather than doing. Notice the breath, and even if you notice that you have accidentally forgotten about the breath when the mind starts to wander, it's okay. Just start again. What can you soften on the next exhale? Take 3 more rounds of breath. And then slowly bring your hands to your prop that is under your hip. Activate the muscles, and you might be so relaxed that it actually takes a little bit of brain effort to activate. And then vertebra by vertebra, you start with the upper back, middle back, tailbone is still off the floor, pelvis is off the floor. You curl your pubic bone towards your navel and you roll the spine all the way back down. And then we can bring our right knee in towards our chest for a wind removal pose. You may keep the left foot flat on the floor with the legs bent, or if it feels all right, you can extend the left leg. When you extend the left leg, it brings a little bit more pressure into the lower back, potentially. And then just breathe into that right hip, stimulating what we call your ascending column. So the right side of your body in yoga philosophy or yoga anatomy is considered the yang, the masculine, the doing. And from a digestive and also lymphatic point of view, it's the ascending column. That means that that's the part of the body energetically, digestively, lymphatically tries to take in all that is good from your food, drinks. It's an upwards energy from the hips up towards in the direction of the crown, in the direction of the shoulder, the neck. So up on the right side and down on the left side. So this is stimulating your ascending column. Also your digestive system, your internal organs. They're getting a little bit of a massage almost. And then notice the position of your chin connecting, and the position of your chin will determine the length in the back of the neck and the alignment of your spine. So you may, if you want, just lift your head and tuck your chin in slightly without exaggerating, just creating a little bit of length, a little bit of space around the shoulders, around the neck, and then come back to the breath. If your right thigh is pressed into the right side of your upper body, it might be a little harder to breathe into that side. That's okay, just the awareness. Soften the skin on your face, notice your breath. Slow breath in, slow breath out. Really starting around the base of the spine, the hips. With our supported bridge, we already worked into our psoas, a big muscle that connects the thigh bone to the spine, and we're working into your right hip now. You may change the angle of the knee a little bit if you want to, turning it a little bit up, so the shin becomes more diagonally. You don't have to. You may. Got 1 more minute here. Soft breath in, soft breath out. Notice any interesting sensations. Three more rounds of breath. And from here, we'll come into a spinal twist. So you can bring your left hand on top of the knee and bring the right knee over towards the left. If you have a prop, so Jeremy, you might grab your blue tube there. You can place it under your right shin. If you don't have a prop, so Francesca, you can use my meditation pillow right here under your thigh. Oh yeah, that's a nice option as well, Anne. So you can use your block or maybe even your bolster if you have a bolster, and really let the leg, the right leg, rest onto your prop. Support it. Actually, I do prefer my bolster. And then shimmy your shoulder blades a tiny little bit. You may your left hand can be on the outside of the right knee, or sometimes it's also nice to place your left hand on your belly. And then we can practice our belly breath, letting the belly rise and fall, connecting to the palm of the left hand. Now we're twisting in the spine. Try to soften the right toes, also the left, but specifically the right. And if it feels nice for your neck, you can extend the twist into your neck by lifting the head and turning the nose towards the right side. Away from the knee. Yeah. Francesca, extend your right arm towards Jeremy. Yeah, exactly. Find your breath. It is quite nice to have that hand on the tummy, because belly breath is also something most of us need to practice. Breathing deep, deep, deep inside the belly is not something that we often naturally do, but this is your chance to just practice that, what we call diaphragmatical breathing, which slows down your central nervous system, gives your internal organs some space to breathe. Soft breath in, soft breath out. Let the body be heavy and soft. Slow breaths in and slow breaths out. And if it's new for you to cultivate a relationship with your breath, because of course we breathe the entire day, the entire night, but cultivating a relationship with the breath in that you consciously breathe, if it's new to you, then counting the breath might help. Around 4 to 6 counts to breathe in, slowing it down, deepening the breath. And also 4, 6, or maybe even 8 counts to breathe out. How slow can you breathe? How deep can you breathe? Around 6 to 8 rounds of breath here. Going inside, noticing your thoughts. Often thoughts are either connected to something from the past, something that has happened, we're digesting it, or something that is maybe an idea or a worry or something about the future. And by breathing consciously and slowly, you kind of meet in the middle into the present, which is now, because we can't breathe into the past or into the future. So paying attention, not judging about your thoughts, noticing them, letting go of them. And meanwhile, drawing yourself into the now, into the sensations, into the breath, into the body. Slowly bring the right hand over so you're totally rolling onto the left side. You can remove your block and then, or prop, and then use your right hand onto the floor to come up into a seated position. Interestingly, if you would probably just sit up straight, both legs feel a little different. My right leg feels like longer. Does it feel different or the same? A bit different, yeah. All right, so then you are, this is correct. So your left leg is going to come out. I'm mirroring you. Now in yin shape, specifically when we're seated, I would say when in doubt, like when you're like, I'm not sure if I'm in the right place, you can also just come a little higher, use a prop. So it's the other leg. I'm mirroring you. I'm being your mirror. That's perfect. The other one. So I'm like your mirror. Yes, it's like we are a mirror image of each other. Perfect. Perfect. Right. And then you can either place something on the inside or both a prop. And just place your right hand, your left hand, on top of it. So we're going to be working into that side stretch. So you place your left hand on the prop, and then you can either bring the arm behind you and just kind of lean backwards, depending on how happy that right shoulder is. Some people like to come over. If you have a belt, you can use a belt, or let the arm kind of rest on the head if it doesn't strain your neck. If it strains your neck or your shoulders, I would suggest to bring the right arm behind you. Okay, very nice. And then you'll probably feel quite strong sensations on the right side here, stretching into the skin, but also stretching into the muscles, into the organs. From the lungs also down towards the kidneys, which is kind of here at the back. If you feel stretching there, you're also just giving your kidneys some space. Open that right shoulder a tiny little bit if you can. So adding a little bit more of a heart lift without forcing anything. I also feel like having it down today. We can play with the angle of our chin. So if the chin is down towards the floor, it stretches differently into the neck. Maybe you want to have it facing forward or a little bit up. Maybe for just a split second, play with that and then feel like, oh yeah, this is it. This is where I want to be. This is where I want to hold. And close your eyes and just breathe. Relax your hands. So it's about that C shape. We call that the lateral stretches, stretching into the lateral, the side of the right upper body here. Soft breaths in, soft breaths out. We're halfway. We won't be here for too long because it can be a little bit uncomfortable for the neck for some of us. Breathe into the right side, into the spaces where you might notice some intense sensations now. We also call that an edge. Resistance, places where the body is like, oh yeah, give me some more space. Notice if you're clenching your teeth. Sometimes when we hold a shape that presents an edge or a little bit of intensity, we hold on and we start to clench our teeth. I definitely do. So that's why I just noticed that. And then slowly, if the arm is on your head, let it also drop down to the floor. And then peel up the spine as if you're moving through, moving through honey. Oh, I feel that. That is nice. Yes, Baddha Konasana. Soles of the feet to touch. You might again want to sit on something higher if that allows you to release into the hips more comfortably. Or you can even, if you have a bolster, so that the challenge for me teaching is that we all have different props. Some have one thing, some have the other thing. So I would try to find a place where you could potentially kind of rest. So for some that would be a block, 2 blocks, 3 blocks, 4 blocks, maybe the head can rest. If you don't have it, it's not a big problem. We are already stretching into the hips. You may also use the bolster and a block or just the bolster. Now, if you can't breathe here, just turn your face to one side and I'll let you know when we're halfway and then you can choose to turn the face to the other side. Okay, I'll look at you first. Good. Nice. Do you want my block, Anne? Are you sure? I don't mind. Are you good there, Francesca? Yeah, nice. You can potentially put the block, your meditation pillow a little bit more forward. Then you can actually use it like that. Yes. No, in between your feet. Somewhere where you can actually put your head on, but with your nose being free. Does that work? Yeah. Now we're opening in the hips, creating a little bit of space, the sacrum. And now we often connect with our breath. When you think of your breath, you often think of your chest, the front of the chest, the belly. But your lungs, interesting enough, continue longer the back of the body. So there's more surface almost in the back of the body that is lung related, let's call it like that. So can you send the breath towards the back of the body? Like you would look at something rising and falling. So you can't really see it, it's too small and too subtle. But the energy and the intention is to have that rising and falling of the back rather than the front, between the shoulder blades. In through the nose. Maybe out of the mouth. Yeah, that's a nice option. I like that, Jeremy. That's nice. If your head is faced to one side, if you are turned because it's supported, turn your face to the other side. I want to keep an eye on you, so I'll turn around. We normally try, so turning around would kind of defeat the purpose because now I've activated my muscles again. But I'm the teacher, so it doesn't matter because I'm here for you. But that's why we try to find that stillness, because you go deeper and deeper and deeper, and the body is just letting go more and more and more. Send that breath to the back line. And I don't know your bodies, but I definitely starting to feel a bit edgy, maybe even a bit frustrated in the shape. Excuse me. That's okay. So we reach physical edges, but some shapes also present mental and emotional edges, like, oh, I want to move out, I want to cry, I can't do this anymore. Thoughts like that. It's okay, because with the breath, you can be gentle and kind, and just surrender and use the breath to stay just a little bit longer, letting the body, space in the body and in the mind. Less than a minute. Soften your shoulders and your neck. And then you can use your fingertips or your hands on the floor and then peel the spine up. Really nice and slow. Oof. Remove your block. Maybe bring the knees together. Put your hands down and just give them a little shake. And bring the feet a little wider. Feel the meat shake around the bones almost. And then we can come lie onto our backs again. Left knee in towards your chest. Draw it close. Remember, you can choose to have that right knee bent or extend the leg along the floor. Now we are working what they call the descending column, the left side, the energy from up to down along the left side of the body. Left side being the feminine side, the yin side. And from a lymphatic and also digestive point of view, very much elimination. Getting rid of things that don't serve. Whether that is through going to the loo, to the toilet, it's as simple as that. It's the body trying to get rid of things that don't serve, digesting things, but also in your mind, things that don't serve, let them go. And lymphatic as well, your lymph are trying to keep your immune system, your whole being healthy. Flush out the waters in the body. You may bring your chin a little closer if you feel that it might serve you to lengthen the neck a little. And really consciously, actively without being active, but yeah, try to soften your shoulders and neck. The shoulders tend to sometimes draw up towards the ears when we're dealing with stressful situations. Notice the breath. Let your eyelids be heavy if your eyes are closed. Notice the subtle kind of entering of air through the nostrils when you breathe in, and exhales when you breathe out. Practicing being, also very yin. Just be, just notice, just observe. Nothing really to do now that you're here. The time spent here, the intention of surrender will do the rest. Take around 3 more rounds of breath in this shape. You can bring the prop over to the right side of your body and then come into your spinal twist. Take a moment here. The first moment of your shape is just to find it. Maybe shimmy your hips, shimmy your shoulders, extend that left arm to the side. And then choose if it feels more comfortable for you to have the nose pointing up, or lift the head and turn the nose towards that left hand. Right hand can be on the outside of the left knee, or that right hand can find your belly again. And the belly is always kind of sensitive shape, or not shape, it's a sensitive part of the body because we're quite insecure or something. It's also your organ. So it's a place that is sensitive in that way that it needs to stay safe. But we also have our own body image about our belly and how it's supposed to be. Now here in yin, it's not about supposed to be. In yoga in general, it's about feeling and actually knowing that letting that belly rise and fall is a healthy thing to do in these pranayama belly breath kind of exercises. Because it calms down your central nervous system. It creates some space for the internal organs. And the touch is also beautiful. The touch of your own hand on the belly. Once you start to soften the left toes, the left ankle starts to soften. And as a translation, the calf, the knee, the thigh, the hip, all the way across the lower back starts to soften. It's a long line, energy line or a fascia line. Also bring attention to your face. The skin on your face is soft. There's space between the top row of teeth and the bottom row of teeth. You can even, for a moment, just wetten your lips with your tongue. So you, no. And then you let your mouth relax, your jaw relax. A minute and a half still here. So just stay, just be. Four more rounds of breath. Slow, deep breaths in and out. And then bring the left arm over your body so you can roll all the way to the right side. And then use your left hand gently to press yourself back up into a seated position. Last shape before we move into our Shavasana, so we equal up. So I've noticed that now at night here at the community center, it gets quite chilly when the sun starts to set. So maybe make sure you always bring something warm. You can even bring a blanket or things like that for your Shavasana so you're nice and comfortable. So settle into your sit bone. The right arm finds a little bit of support there, including the elbows. So the shoulder can really relax. And then we turn that left shoulder up and over. And the option could be to just let the arm dangle. The weight will do enough. You can bring it up and over. That just makes it a little bit more intense. But if it's not feeling good for the neck, I'd rather just advise you to just leave that arm down. Breathe into the left side. So we have stimulated that left side because of the knee pulling in as well, but now it's from a lateral side, really stretching also very deeply into the kidneys. Can you soften both shoulders, almost like they're melting away from the ears, and then breathe into the left lung. There's more space here. There's more length here than on the left side. Sorry, there's more space here on the left side compared to the right side. So really breathe into that lung. Close your eyes and breathe. Nice yogis at home as well, looking good. Stay there. With every breath, you create space in the body, space in the mind, calming down the central nervous system. And at the same time, filling your cup. Some things just need to pass through you, thoughts and emotions, for us to have peaceful sleep, for us to just digest all that has come in, all the information through the brain, through the eyes, through smell, through sound, through touch maybe. Just being still, surrendering and letting it be, letting it flow through you. A little bit more than 2 minutes here. Remember that we did figure out a little bit that angle of the chin. Maybe you've immediately found quite a nice angle, but subtly changing the chin a little bit, you might find a sweet spot there. And hang out a little bit into that nice stretch in the left side of the neck. Around 4, 5 rounds of breath here, and deep and slow breaths in and out. If the arm is looped around or on your head, slowly let it just dangle on the outside of the body. And then gently come out. And then we can prep ourselves for our Shavasana. Now, to make it extra nice and comfortable for yourself, sometimes it's nice to cover your eyes because it just takes the light out. If you have a bolster or blocks, so an option could be, the feet are around hip width or as wide as the mat. You could have this. If you don't have a bolster and you have, for example, 2 pillows or 2 blocks, it'd be nice just to support the hips. You don't have to, because officially Shavasana, or officially, there's no officially. This is also Shavasana, just relaxing, to settle in. And we do try to have our palms facing up. That opens the heart meridian line or the heart line. That also is a gesture of receiving. And just settle into your Shavasana to close our practice. And I'll let you know when it's time to move again. Now we don't have to pay attention to anything. Just to lie still, to be. Specifically at home, if you're in a peaceful place and you just have the time and you want to give yourself a little bit of longer Shavasana to stay. You can even leave the meeting, it's fine. Otherwise, start to bring some movement into the toes and the fingers. Noticing hopefully a bit of a difference in your energy and your connection to your body, and your breath. Maybe even a little bit different types of quality or activity in the mind. And then hug your knees in towards your chest, two at the same time. And then roll to the side. And from the side, you slowly press yourself back up into a seated position. Gifting yourself time on your mat is investing in yourself, in your own future, your physical and mental well-being. So thank you. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for spending time on the mat. And thank you for letting me guide you tonight. You may place your hands in front of the heart, just again, closing the practice, reminding yourself of your intention, your dedication. And thanking the other yogis for practicing with you, whether that's online or here in Scarborough. Take some of that bliss, serenity with you off your mat into the rest of your evening, day, week, weekend. Namaste. Bye, Paul. Bye, Cornelia. Hello, Tilly. I actually hadn't seen you there, and I saw you coming in quite late. Nice. It's nice and dark there, Cornelia. Lovely. Bye, everyone.